everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing week 2 of the Autumn Fest 2025 collab, which is hosted by the lovely Lisa, who's Crafting Diva. As always, if you like the content on the channel, then please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let's get into today's video. So hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video. My name's Mel, this is MJL Papercrafts. Hope you guys are having a lovely Friday. Today we're going to be doing the week 2 upload of the Autumn Fest 2025 collab, which is hosted by Lisa, who's Crafting Diva. We have a whole host of YouTube collaborators and Instagrammers who will be joining in with this collab. I'll leave their links in the description box below, and I'll also leave the dates of the Fridays that we're going to be taking part in this collab throughout September. So I'm actually going to show you a very mini demo today for today's autumn project. The collaborators will be doing a mix of Halloween and autumn themes, but I'll be doing mostly autumn themes throughout September. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video today. I'm actually going to be doing some shaker cards. I'll show you a tiny demo of how I make the shaker cards, and I'll show you the cards that I've actually made for today's prompt. So I hope you guys will enjoy. I'll show you the products that I've actually used. So they are by the lovely Doodle Bug. So this is their farmhouse collection. So I'm going to just show you the materials that I have used. If you're joining in on Instagram or you do YouTube content, and then please don't forget to use the hashtag, which is AutumnFest 2025. And as always, I'll link the materials and the products that I've used for today's cards in the description box below. So I will show you the lovely paper pad and the lovely bits and pieces that I've got from Doodlebug. So the collection that I've used is this one. This is by Doodlebug Design. This is the farmhouse collection. I think this came out maybe a year ago, and has the mix of the lovely oranges, the browns, the greens and the lighter blues, which I really love. I love some of the florals and I love some of the stripes here too. Got lots of gingham print, got lots of the pumpkins, there's actually a chicken on here, which I think is rather cute. Got lots of spots, you've got lots of like trees and leaves, which I really like. And I also like the mix of the blacks and greys in this collection as well. Really random, but I love the mix of the colour palette here. It's mostly all oranges, browns and greens, and some blues too, which I absolutely love. I've also used the ephemera pieces, so I've just used the bits and pieces here. So I've used this one here. Beautiful mix of the colours. Again, it's just got the lovely mix of like some of the blacks and the whites, and some of the mix of the oranges, greens and the blues. Lovely. And then I've used 1 or 2 of the ephemera as well. This is the Chit Chat, which is the sentiment. So I've used some of these as well. Really beautiful range of colours. And again, lots of the oranges, yellows, browns and greens and blues, which I absolutely love. So again, I'll link those products in the description box below. I've also used some enamel dots too. So these are from xoxo, and this is, if I can move them down a little bit, this is the Tropical Forest by xoxo. Really lovely mix of some of the lighter greens, and we've got some of the darker greens here too. So I'm going to show you a little demo of how I actually make the shaker cards. So I normally use CeeLo bag envelopes. So this is a CeeLo bag envelope here that you will see. So it's a little bit more darker than the purple matte that I have underneath. And then I've just got a piece of the collection to match. So what I normally do is I normally measure the CeeLo bag, and then I normally cut it an eighth of an inch down. So this is a 4 inch by 4 inch CeeLo bag, and this piece of card is a 3 by 7/8 inch square. So it's 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So this will basically fit in quite snugly into the CeeLo bag, and this will enable you to actually put your sequins in. So I've actually cut this down to size. Again, I'll leave the measurements in the description box below. You can accommodate it to any kind of CeeLo bag size that you have. So if you have a larger one, you can use a larger one. If you have kind of like a medium sized one, like a 4 by 6 one, then all you need to do is just cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller than the actual CeeLo bag. This will make it a little bit more tighter, so then you don't have sequins escaping to the other side, especially when you are gluing this CeeLo bag to the base card. So that is basically how it fits. So it will fit very snugly, and then what I would suggest is that you push it all the way down to the end. I think you can leave a little bit of a gap. See if you guys can see, there's a little gap just at the bottom there. And then what I normally do is I get the sequins that I'm actually going to put in there. So I've used some autumn sequins. So these are from the range. I've just put them in this little bag. These came in a longer packet. But these are the ones that I got from the range. They're a really mix of lovely autumn leaves. So we've got the smaller batch here, and they've got some of the larger leaves here. So what I normally do is I normally get like a teaspoon. So I've actually got a teaspoon here. So this is the lovely teaspoon. And then what I normally do is I open up the sequins that are in this bag, and then I just take maybe half a scoop and then just see how much they'll actually fit. So that's kind of like half a scoop of the actual sequins. See if I've got a steady hand for this. And then I normally just put it through the gap here between the card and the bag, and then just scoop in what I need to put in there. I then put some of the larger ones. So it would just depend how much you want, how much movement you want from the sequins. I normally grab like maybe like a couple here. So there's probably about maybe 4 or 5 in my hand there. So I'll put them in there and I'll just see how much the movement is in the packet or in the bag. So I'll just put them in there, and then I will seal the bag at the top, just like this. And then I'll just see, because I'll temporarily try and move it around like this to see if it'll actually move around in the packet. If I want to add a few more, so if I add some more of the smaller ones, so I might just grab something within my fingers, or I might just take the teaspoon and just scoop some more in there. So I'll take again another bit of the teaspoon. You don't have to use a teaspoon, you can just use your own fingers if you'd like to, but I just put there because I'm a little bit more precise. Don't have to be precise, you can be as random as you'd like to be. And then you can just seal it down at the back here. So if I take this the covering off here for you, and then what I'll then do, there we go, is then I'll then really flushly put it up right against the card. So as you can tell, the card is hitting right here where the edge is, if you can see it on the camera, and then I'll put it up right up towards the card, just so that it will actually just sit properly. And try and do it as flat as you can, and then what will happen is that you can just test it. So you can either flick it around, or you can just move it around the actual card in the packet, because I normally just test it out to see if it actually will move around. But because it's quite tight against that, then you could probably use less sequins or more sequins. It just depends upon the size of your sequins, because I think a couple of cards that I did, they actually had smaller sequins, but you can put larger sequins. It's just a case of just trying to move them around in the packet. So that's normally how I make my shaker cards, if I'm making shaker cards, or if I just want a little bit of movement on the card. So as you can tell, it's just moving a little bit. So that's normally how I make my shaker cards, and I'll just decorate the top with some ephemera, some sentiments, or any die cuts, and I'll just layer them on top to make the card. So I hope you guys have found that demo really, really useful in making some easier shaker cards. I'll just show you the cards that I've actually made for this week's prompt, or this week's autumn prompt that I've been doing. So this is the first one. I've just done it in this orange card base. This is from Lidl. This is 270 GSM. It's one of my favourite card stocks, but I now know that they've changed the formula for it now. This is from the old stock that I got years ago, so I'm trying to use up all the haul that I had from a couple of years ago with the Lidl cardstock. This is absolutely beautiful cardstock. Really, really love it. I will be doing a review of the Lidl cardstock very, very soon, so please stay tuned for that. So again, I've just used the orange cardstock. I've just laid one of the papers from the Doodlebug collection. I've just put this here in the sealer bag. So I've put more sequins in here, so it actually does like move around. which I really like. Again, I just really like making checker cards, especially as it's a little bit more easier. I always found them really difficult to make. And I've just laid some of the ephemera on top. So I'll just use this lovely floral wreath, and then I'll put autumn leaves on here as a sentiment, again from the collection. Just put this bee here too, and then I've just added the enamel dots. Really gorgeous colours, and they really go well together. I've just put the sentiment on some foam dots so they pop out a little bit, and I've also popped the bee up as well on some foam pads too. So that is the first card that I've made. You can actually just either write in here, because it's quite a lighter colour card, or you can just put a white card insert instead, so you can actually write on it, especially if you're writing out a longer message, for example. So you can put a white insert in there if you would like. So that's the first card that I've made. The second one that I've made is this one. So this is Happy Thanksgiving on the front. So again, has the ephemera piece laid on top of the lovely CeeLo bag, so it does move around. And this also has the lovely bee here, and has the lovely Happy Thanksgiving sentiment on the front, and the lovely enamel dots as well. So I'll just put them in each corner, apart from here where the bee is. I just decided to leave the bee there without the enamel dot. So again, done it on the brown cardstock from the Little Cardstock collection, and I've just used some leaf background here. You guys may be able to see on camera, and I've also used some of the ephemera as well from the same collection. So those are the two cards that I've actually made for this week. So I hope you guys have liked that to make. I hope you have really liked the demo as well. So I hope you guys will continue to make some lovely shaker cards at home. Hope you guys have a lovely weekend ahead, and I'll see you guys in my next video.